Last week, President Obama told a group of school children that broccoli was his favorite food, which the kids seemed to believe. They believed him. Then he told them Obamacare would reduce the deficit, and the kids all burst out laughing.
I want to ask you about political comedy and the way you do it. And you've been at it longer than anybody. When you took over The Tonight Show 20 years ago, 21?
Yeah, 22.
22 years ago. Johnny Carson before you did some, you know, but it'd be rare if he would do more than 3 political jokes in a night. Very, very rare. You amped it up. You built much more political comedy into the monologue. And just in terms of political comedy mileage over the years, probably no one has done more since you've been at it.
Well, I know about that. I mean, certainly Jon Stewart and all these guys are terrific. They do political shows. My thing is to sort of go down the center. You know, I remember we had a comedian on the show one time, and his opening line was, "I'm a Democrat, and I'm going to tell," and I said to him, just do your act. Believe me, they will figure out if you're a Democrat. Yeah. But why lose half the audience when you walk out there? Just, you're a comedian for, you know, the real trick is to put the joke first, and if you have a little message or something you're trying to get across, stick it with. Believe me, they will figure out your affiliation. And that's the real, you always put the joke first. But a lot of comics, you get that sense of importance. Well, I want people to know how I feel on this. And then, no, you know, this is what happens. You start as a comedian, then you're a humorist, then you're a satirist, then you're out of show business. You know, that's how it works. Yeah. Stay a comedian. Forget humorist and satirist. If you stay a comedian, you'll always work. The others, you get that self-important, you know, like, I want people to know how I feel. I don't care how you feel.
Now, you say that we will figure it out. I've been watching you a long time. I cannot figure out.
What do you figure? Tell me what you think.
I don't know. Listen, I have a pretty good idea how Dave votes. I heard the way he talked about Romney. There's no way he could possibly. You know, I can get it, right? I watch you, and my bet is that you get email, tweets, all this stuff saying, you awful Republican.
Right.
And the next night, you awful liberal. I hate you, you conservative, you liberal. It's just, you're constantly getting it back and forth.
See, like Romney. I think Romney is a decent guy. I never thought he was a crook. I never thought he was an evil person. I think he's a very nice, decent man who chose to pay as little tax as possible, and the Republicans beat him up for it. I don't understand that. That's your whole platform. What are you doing? Why are you going after this guy for not paying any taxes? But I brought him on, and I treated him as I would anybody else, and he was fine. He was a terrific guest. I mean, I think that's the key. You have to have an open mind. You can't go in thinking, oh, this person's in this party, this person's in that party.
But like in that example you gave about the comic who comes out and says, I'm a Democrat, and you told him, bad idea. Is it your mission to keep your politics, you know...
No, it is my mission to make people laugh.
But keep your politics hidden in the process, your personal politics and voting preferences.
Well, I think if you ask me about gay rights or anything like this, I think it's fairly obvious what my politics are. I like equality for everybody. I mean, that's whatever that makes you. But I'm one of those people, I'm conservative fiscally, and I'm probably liberal socially, which I think the way most Americans are. You know, it's like with the gays, most people go, you know, Billy's like Eddie. You know, people, and most people like that. They're against it until they know somebody who's that way. Oh, well, he's okay, I guess. And then it's all fine. It seems like, to me, racial things, anti-gay things, it seems like the most ridiculous issue. My attitude is if there are 1,400 seats in there, I want to sell a ticket to everybody. If a third is black and a third is gay and white, male, female, fine. I've sold out the room. Right. Thank you. That's my job, to bring it all together. There's nothing worse as a comedian to play to one group. I don't like playing all male shows because then you wind up just doing filthy material. But I don't like all female shows. I like something that's a cross-section that represents what America is. And that's the best audience that there is. And plus, it keeps you honest. Because when you only work to one type of crowd, you wind up pandering. And then you wonder why you're not popular anymore.
On the politicians who've come through the show, in terms of White House correspondents' performance anyway, my personal judgment, Barack Obama, best stand-up of all of them so far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, the White House Correspondents' Dinner has become...
Which you've done maybe more than anybody.
Well, I've done 4 or 5 times. Actually, it's become more of a roast.
Yes.
I mean, I remember doing it with Reagan and doing it through the 80s and 90s. and it was fun. And now I see comedians who I thought were quite funny being vilified because they didn't slam the president, they didn't nail George Bush, they didn't nail whatever it might be, and go, well, that's not your job.
Right.
It's supposed to be.
It also, by the way, tends not to work in that room, as you know, having been in the room.
But I've seen people die in the room and get rave reviews from the left or the right, which doesn't make any sense.
No, I've had friends of mine, comedians, do it, and I've tried to say to them, well, you know, there's a line, I can't describe it to you over the phone. You're going to have to show me joke by joke, and I'll tell you, but it's an invisible line. I can't identify it for you. But, Jay, thank you very much. Congratulations on the endless string of big scoops of getting the President of the United States.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. And I enjoy your show very much. And I love your promos. It's an added value.
That's right.
But I love that. I love that. And I believe that as well. I am the son of immigrants. And to me, you know, there's nothing more fun than when I go jaywalking. We knock on people's doors. We did this the other day. Kid opens the door, totally American, okay? He's got a Simpson T-shirt, and he's got some kind of crazy hat on, and his father's Spanish and American, speaks both, and then the grandparents speak no English at all. And you see the fight that goes on in this house, this little culture barrier. And that's what I love about America. Everybody eventually becomes American when you stay here long enough. And that's the fun thing to me. You know, my grandfather never spoke English, spoke Italian. My dad spoke both. And yet, it's fun to watch each generation grow like that. So that's why I like your promo.
Jay Leno, you're going to hang around and do my next promo of the show with me. Okay, well, there you go, Jay Leno.
Big giant cup of coffee.
Thank you, sir. You can see Jay Leno's interview with President Obama tonight on your NBC station.